So you think everybody talked good about Jesus that was around him?
Of course not.
So you don't think Satan sent his best gossipers around Jesus?
I would believe so.
Okay, then. If you one of Jesus or God's best talkers,
Yeah.
I should be able to send you around any devil worshiper person out there. You should be able to talk with the sword of the tongue, because I think that's what they call it, right?
Hmm.
Okay, then.
And I'll
That's what.
say this also. I'm sorry that he called you a dumbass. I didn't want it to be disrespectful. I did find it funny, but I'm sorry about that. But I'll say this: just have a little bit more thicker skin, especially when we're in debate realms. People get real nasty, you know. Uh, People will call you all sorts of things, and you know what? If they're being ignorant, just have it in your mind that they're ignorant, you know?
Yeah, that you're smarter than them. I feel it.
Just
Yeah.
I got
be
something to
a
say.
strong person.
I got something to say.
Okay.
It's one thing to have thick skin, whatever. But it's another thing when somebody calling you out your name and out of your race. Baby, ain't no thick skin then. I'm gonna disrespect you just like you disrespecting me. You had no right to have somebody come up to the live and call this young man, well, I'm sorry, not a young man, this grown man, a nigger. I don't care what.
Nobody
I
called
don't.
him,
I don't.
nobody called him that.
Yeah, we just got that clarified. Nobody called him that.
Yeah, and I said, okay, cool. I gave him that, but I was disrespected, and I had already the notion that he laughed, meaning that he was cool with me being
He
disrespected.
already
He
told you that
didn't
he
check him,
thinks this.
so I was like,
He
I'm
already
gonna leave.
think. He already told you that he thinks it's funny. That shit's not funny though. And some
To
people
call
don't take
someone a
that
dumb.
as no, being disrespectful is not funny. Like you wouldn't want to go onto somebody's panel thinking that you're cool with someone and you allowing people to come up and disrespect him. No, that's very disrespectful. So yes, I'm gonna jump to his defense because that's rude. I will never allow you to come in my panel and allow people to come up and disrespect you. I'm going to cut that shit short because at the end of the day, I owe loyalty to who? The person that came into my panel. I don't owe
Exactly.
loyalty to
So so if
other
you
people.
so if you on my panel, brother, right, and I see somebody snickering about you, da da da, I'm a first tell you like, yo, don't we don't really comments. It's just me and you. But then there's another thing, me bringing them up, and then they come in there just to ridicule you. I'm gonna mute them, or I'm like, hey, we're not doing that. If you came here to speak, you came here to speak, or ask me a question. We're not doing that. I'm gonna check them right there. I'm not gonna laugh with them. That's not somebody that you call a friend or somebody that you cool with. You don't laugh with them and be like, hey, go ahead, see what you got to say. What?
What?
Don't I don't need to be around that, brother.
You can laugh it
You
off a little bit, but then still let it
you
be
guys could
known.
call
Look,
me a dumbass, and that's fine. I'm fine with confrontation.
Jason, you're a
If you
dumbass.
guys were to, okay, yeah,
Yeah, I
see,
just want to. I just want to get it out the way.
fair enough. You know what's going on, man?
Wait, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes, we can
are
hear
they
you.
trying to say that? Is this the guy that's in my Discord, right?
Yeah.
So he's trying to say you called him the N word.
Oh, I haven't yet, but I will.
Not on here, you won't.
see what I'm talking about? Look, what you not finna do.
What you not gonna do?
You're
Shut your
not funny.
trashy ass up, bitch.
You're not fucking
Shut your
funny.
fat trashy up,
You're not
bitch.
fucking funny, you fat,
Shut
ugly,
your
white,
ugly.
cracker ass, bald headed ass bitch. Come on,
Hey,
come
she
on,
called you the cracker. Let it loose.
come on.
I'm not gonna stoop to her level because it's obvious she has 5 different baby daddies. So
Baby, no. That's where you're wrong. That's where you're
that's where you're
wrong.
wrong. Shut
I
your
actually
chicken
have
ass up,
one.
bitch.
You're mad because nobody wants you with your small dick. You probably have a small dick and
Bitch,
you're probably at home
nobody
by
can fit their
yourself,
fucking dick in your
beating
fat,
it. Because
overgrown
you're
300
mad because
pound
you're
ass,
lonely
bitch.
and you don't have anybody. You're sad. You're pathetic. You're pitiful. That's crazy. You got to come at a
It's
woman
crazy.
disrespectfully because
Hold on.
your
You're not gonna
ego is
unpack the
touched.
fact that you're a
Your
woman when
ego
you
is
look like a
touched.
fucking fat
Your
whale
ego is
monster, bitch.
touched. Your ego is touched. I might be a bitch, but
Barely
your
a woman.
mother's a
You're
bitch
barely a
too.
woman.
The
You have
fuck?
any
Come on
woman.
now. Get the
You
shit
barely
together.
have any
Get
shit
the
that
shit
makes you a
together.
woman.
Get your shit together.
You telling me to get my shit together
You're
when you weigh
fucking
300
immature as
fucking
fuck.
pounds,
Yes.
fat bitch? Oh my
Yes.
god.
Yes.
Laying in bed
Immature
and
as
ain't
fuck.
get out of bed, you
Grow the
fucking
fuck
hoe.
up. Grow the fuck up.
So money. Oh, all right,
Fuck.
all right, hold on. I'll let you talk. All right. Hey, I'll let you talk. So money. This is the person that you wanted to talk to me, and you said you wanted him to have a word and ask me a question. That's the person you want to talk to me about. What?
I didn't invite him on, but he came on the podcast, and that's fine. People could come on my podcast,
But
and he was gonna ask you a question.
But you think him asking coming like that was going to be cool and fruitful, and that was going to be a good conversation? You think that was what happened, and that was
It's
entertaining
fine.
to you?
Be a
That was
little,
entertaining to you. It wasn't. It was about to be no
combative.
conversation. It was going to be entertaining to you, wasn't?
Just be a little bit combative. Have a
No.
little.
Answer the question. It was going to be entertaining to you, and you was going to like it because it was going to be funny that somebody disrespected me, and you were going to allow it. That was funny to you.
It would be funny if you were combative also. Just be a little
That's
combative.
that's
Have
not my
some fun.
character. That's not my character.
Okay, well then don't let it be your character. That's fine, man.
Right. So it's entertaining. It's funny with you because you cape for it, and that's people that you like hang around you. Got you.
Yeah, here you'll see what he's saying a thing.
Yes, I do.
Well, I mean,
That's,
no, alright. If this whale
The
shuts the
fuck
fuck
your
up,
mom's a whale whore.
come on, y'all two. Y'all two. Check this out. This is my podcast. I allow freedom of speech all day long. I love freedom of speech, but the over disrespectful, nah. Let's have a mutual conversation. Let's get an understanding. Let's pick a topic and let's go somewhere.
We all gotta cool down a little bit.
You know, this is why I brought this podcast up specifically because of this right here did happen, and this is happening all over the internet, and we just need to straighten it out right here. Understanding that devil worshippers and Christians are on the same podcast talking to each other.
All right, there we go.
Here, what do you got to say, Christian?
All right, can you hear me?
You're cutting, you're breaking up a little bit.
All right, hold on 1 second.
Okay.
Is that better?
Yes.
Yeah, we could hear you.
Okay. All right. So I heard you come into the conversation earlier, Edub. You were talking about how he won't talk about the fact that there's what did you say? You said that there was drag queens at elementary schools.
Yep.
Where did you see that at?
There's videos around the internet about it, and what that indicates is that when you have men that's in girl clothing in front of little kids, little boys and girls, now it indicates that it's okay to do that, and you're pushing that on them instead of letting them grow up to what they want to be, but now you pushing them on them as they're young, and
All right.
that's grooming, whether you want to believe that or not. Then on top of that, right, you have the fact that they want to say, oh, that children are born X, Y, and Z. But now that happens in schools, it shows you that it's pushed onto them.
All right. So going under that belief that if so you're basically going on like a few things you've seen on the news. Now, if we're going by that standard, would it be okay to say that churches are pedophilia rings because molestations happen often with pastors?
Yes.
That is, and I would say yes to a degree of somebody that doesn't really believe in God, and that is
that has nothing to do with God. I didn't say anything about God. I said churches and molestation.
And I just told you that is
That happens in Catholic churches. I need you to
Okay,
correct
nobody's
that.
talking to you,
I
Will.
need you to
Nobody's
correct
talking
that.
to you,
No,
Will. Can you
you
shut
talking
the
about a
fuck up?
respectful.
Christian
Hey,
Listen,
church.
bitch, you're eating
There's
up
a
all the air.
difference.
Can you
There's
shut
a
this bitch up?
difference.
I'm trying to
There's
talk
a
to E-Dub,
difference.
not this fucking
There's a
fat whale.
difference.
There's a
There's a
difference. Shut up,
difference.
bitch. Everyone can hear you,
There's a
dumbass.
difference.
Nah,
Can you
English.
fucking mute this
You gotta
fat
go.
whale?
You gotta go. You're not gonna call her a B word. Don't call her out her
She's
name,
a
bro.
fat bitch. She's a fat, ugly slut bitch.
And
Listen.
your mom
Nah,
too.
we're not
And
doing
I
that.
hurt my feelings.
You gotta go,
And I
bro.
hurt my
You gotta go.
Amen. Amen.
We're not doing
But
that.
yeah,
He's mad. The poor
okay.
baby's mad.
Hey, take care of your
Oh,
kid, fat ugly bitch. Stop.
oh, you're mad. First off, you can shut the fuck up talking about my
You can
children.
shut the fuck up. Your kid.
Keep that out your fucking mouth.
I'm gonna need you
Fuck.
to tame your homie just a little bit. Money.
Yeah, tame your best friend, bro.
Wait, what about her? You're not taming her?
Yet again, she's on the attack. I see
First
if she
off,
was attacking.
first off,
And
If she would stop interrupting,
he got
I would
got
gladly have a
nothing.
conversation with
interrupt
E-Dubs.
you.
I
I
would
feel
gladly have a conversation with E-Dubs if she would just shut the fuck up.
Here, let's just
And I'll
lower
gladly
the
not
temperature.
shut the
Hey,
fuck
hey,
up.
hey, let's lower the temperature. You need to lower the temperature too, both of you. Just lower
He
the
shouldn't have
temperature.
called
We're
me a
having a
bitch. What the
conversation.
fuck? So
Well, stop being a
Because you
bitch.
keep on opening your mouth.
Stop.
Just be quiet
Stop.
for a
I can
minute.
talk as much as don't make me shut up. Oh, I thought so.
Burn Live,
The
mute
fuck?
What?
her.
You want me to reach through the screen? I'm sorry. It
Don't
doesn't work
smack
like that,
me.
bitch.
Come do it.
Both of y'all.
Listen, if she stays muted the whole conversation, I will gladly talk to E-Dub civilly. I will gladly do that.
But yet again, there's other people on this panel too. So talk to all of us. Have a conversation.
All right, I'm
Please.
She
here
gotta
for
be
E-Dub.
respectful too.
I
She gotta be
understand
respectful
that.
too.
Everybody be respectful. Just get 5 minutes. 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Okay? 10 minutes.
Listen, I'll be respectful if it's just like me and E-Dub having a conversation, but if she interjects, start calling me a cracker, that's when I'm gonna say something. I'm just not gonna let that shit slide.
Here, I'll
I'm
mute
still gonna
myself
let that shit
also.
slide. I'm a crybaby.
Shut up, bitch. Lay in bed like you always do.
But yet again, she didn't say nothing disrespectful. You just see that right
She
there.
just said something disrespectful. What the fuck are you talking about?
I think
Did
some
she?
disrespectful mocking you because I hurt your feelings. Sir, get out your feelings. You
You're
are a
not hurting my
grown man,
feelings. You're hurting
and
your
you're letting a
bed's
woman.
feelings. You're
You're
hurting your
letting a
bed's feelings. That
4'11"
shit's
woman
touching the
hurt
ground,
your
bitch.
feelings. You are
Lowrider
too
ass
old.
bed,
You're
motherfucker.
old as
Lowrider
fuck.
ass.
It's the cussing. It's the cussing. Yet again, she didn't even cuss at you.
So the rule is no cussing.
I mean, just if y'all gonna talk back and forth, I don't care. The extra cussing is extra, bro. Y'all
Okay,
hella
let's just
extra.
let Christian and E-Dub go at it. We could all mute ourselves, you know?
Do y'all even want to have this civil conversation? First of all,
Eat 'em up,
I,
E-Dub.
I really don't care for it at this point because I don't like how
Well,
she's
she
getting
just picked her
disrespected.
nose and ate it. Her fat ass. God
shut up,
Yeah, you mad because we
You
don't talk
hungry
Christian.
ass.
Yeah, home sad
Christian,
alone.
Christian,
I'm so
Christian,
lonely. I
Christian,
have nobody to
We
call
know,
my
bitch. You don't need to say it out
Christian,
own. I'm so
Christian,
lonely.
Christian. I'm gonna ask you a
I'm
question.
so
Are you gonna
lonely.
answer?
I
Yeah, I'm gonna
have
mute
Yeah,
myself.
sure. I'll answer if she'll
nobody.
shut the fuck up. Thank you.
Do you have any manners? Period.
Yeah, when I'm shown manners, like with E-Dub, he's been real cordial. I've been cordial with him. But then her big ass
No, you
has to
wasn't,
come in
bro.
here and start
Yeah,
talking.
You came on here calling me
E-Dub. Hold on. For once, I'm talking. Okay.
sorry.
I'm trying to get an understanding of Christian, who even scared to show his face.
I
But
can't. I don't have a camera. I don't know what you
okay,
want me to do.
understandable. I really don't care. I'm just saying, if you can talk conversation, if you can have a conversation, if you're such a man of a man, can you just prove it for a good 20-30 minutes? Even though somebody
I'm
come, even somebody attack you, can you still be a man? Or you just
okay.
have to
So
stoop down to somebody else?
we're gonna hold me down to a standard, but then somebody else can say something to me.
Oh my
That
God.
seems absolutely ridiculous.
I'm asking you a question, period. I just asked a question.
The answer is no.
Thank you.
If somebody's gonna talk shit, If somebody's gonna talk bad, I'm gonna talk bad back.
Here,
Thank you.
can I
Was that
chime in
simple?
just for a sec?
Was
Can I
that
chime in
simple?
just for a sec?
No, you cannot.
Okay.
Because I just want to make sure that things are just this equally simple of a question just to be answered. I just asked a simple question and he went to ha, ha. That's crazy. That's why the way you are because as soon as you get attacked, you want to attack. You just can't sometimes chill. Have this good conversation between y'all two. Let's learn something. Let's get an understanding. Let's go.
I've been having the conversation. We had
Okay.
the conversation and then I got interrupted. That's all that happened, man.
Okay. So y'all got a good 30 minutes on the clock. I really want to hear this. I really want to see where this goes.
All right.
I'm
So
into
like I was
Go
saying, Edub. So what's the difference between you citing random news sources and me citing random news sources of the Catholic Church molesting children? You're basically putting a label on the fact that you saw something on the news, maybe 2 or 3 things on the news, and putting that entire label on the whole thing.
It's not a label. It's what it is and what it's not. My thing is when I'm gonna be like, okay, you can be whatever you want to be, cool, but don't come for the kids. You can be whatever you feel like it needs. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you feel like feels quote unquote good to you, and you think is right in your mind, but don't come for the children. Don't put it into schools. Don't try to make it seem like it's okay. Like you can be a person that believes in the same sex and teach, but don't teach it in school. Teach whatever the lesson that is and and be present. But you don't need to teach the children about how to be um um homosexual. You don't need to teach that to them.
Okay.
That shouldn't be taught or
So
be shown in front of them.
I'm
That's
gonna
grooming.
lay this out in the least condescending way possible. Okay. So your argument is that one, it's being taught to kids and it shouldn't be taught to kids. And your reasoning that you're saying this is because you've seen it on the news. And I'm using the exact
No,
same argument against you.
it's
And
not the fact that I just see it, but it's a I don't want to say what it is really, but I'm a firm believer in the Bible, right? So, and I believe that if if I love you, I'm gonna love you who you are, but I'm not about to sit here and agree with the sinful nature that you have. I'm going to meet you where you at, and I'm gonna love you, right? As a person, you
I think
come
you're a
you,
Can
little
you
I
all
say
come to
over
the
the.
something?
you come to the church as you are, but you leave changed.
Okay.
Can I say something?
I Sure, go ahead.
So what I was going to say is I agree with Edub. It shouldn't be taught in school because at the end of the day we already go through different hormonal changes as we get older anyway. So eventually we realize that we either like the same sex or we don't like the same sex and we're straight. Like it's what we choose, you know what I mean? Should no child be r- shown that at an early age? My children don't know nothing about the LGBTQ community. Do they know about two people being in a relationship that's the same sex? Yes, I teach them that. So when they go out in public, they don't just be pointing to people like, "Mommy, what is that?" You know what I mean? No, but forcing drag queens and stuff like that on children is not good. But eventually they're gonna grow up and decide what they want to do. And people don't go to church gay and then come out changed. That's not true because they still gonna like the
It's called
same
transformation.
person.
It's called transformation.
And that's
Right. Okay.
Can
impossible.
can I
It's
can I
not
speak real
impossible.
quick?
It
Actually,
Money.
definitely is.
One.
I
Money.
can give you
Definitely is.
a couple. I can give you a couple of testimonies if you need it.
Real, real
Give
quick.
You
me
know what I'm saying?
Money. Wait,
And
wait.
I'll do it with love. I don't do it to just prove my point, but I'm gonna show you the power of the Lord. It's
Okay.
not that we do it on our own, but it's the power that you have to change. Just like how a person that came from the streets can be transformed into a man of God, can be transformed into understanding what love is. It's just a transforming and a change of your heart and your
All right.
position of your mind.
Real
That's
quick.
it.
I
Money. Real quick.
Information.
Edub, I'm gonna say one thing. Uh, you're watching the news and you're reading articles on what's happening in schools. I'll tell you somebody who was in school prime time during COVID. I was a sophomore during COVID. I will tell you now, LGBT topics and stuff like that were never talked to us in school. It was pretty much just kids talking to each other. You know, because when kids are in high school, they're at that development age. They're at the age of trying to understand themselves. They're at the age of figuring themselves out, you know, trying to figure out what clicks with them and what doesn't. When I was in school, my experience was never teachers telling us about their personal lives or what they believe in, LGBTQ. There was never any speakers like that. I think the only time that happened was we had an LGBTQ speaker at the schools talking about bullying, and they were only one segment of multiple segments of people who are discriminated against. There was black people, there was a black person who was speaking, there was a gay person, other stuff like that. Long story short, the crux of what I'm trying to say is that I think that you're reading articles of a few bad apples. Like with church, there's a few bad apples that will go out of their way and do something horrible because they're in a position of power. I think you're reading articles and using that as a label to describe the thing as a whole.
Am I?
Yes, I 100% believe so. It's the same logic that
That's
people
me.
use for
That'll be
racism.
me. That'll be putting it into the box. But the thing that we try to misconstrue is like it don't happen, and we're saying that it's not a thing. We can't be
I don't.
disingenuous with that.
I don't
Let
think
me
We
I'm
chime in
saying.
real quick. Let me chime in real quick. I just
Sure.
want to say
It's
this
really
real quick.
it's you know the thing is,
Hold on,
you know,
Eda, please.
you know the
Let me
thing
just
is,
say this real quick.
Yeah, let him speak
Can I?
real quick.
Can
He
I?
hasn't spoken at all.
Okay. So this is like we can agree that we don't want people influencing our children on things that they believe in, like drag queens. I think that a majority of people don't defend that, and we don't want that in school, right? But
I
this
would agree
is
that people do want that in school that are wicked. Yes,
yes, there's minority groups that fucking suck. Everybody can agree that, but it's not like this widespread problem. But my point when we were talking about this and you brought up the LGBT stuff is that we don't want people indoctrinating people in our schools, and that's why I brought up stuff like
but it is
Youth Club.
happening.
We have the freedom to choose what our kids are being taught, and the LGBT stuff, absolutely. I don't want the schools forcing certain topics or like drag queens or something in school, but I don't think anyone's saying that.
That's what happening. That is what is happening. You can literally look it up, brother.
Yeah.
You
Well,
can
that goes back
literally
to
look
his
it up and see
point.
that it is happening.
Well, that goes back to his point
But the
of
thing is,
like there's
is
priests
I'm
and
trying to tell you
pastors
that
that
I
are
don't hate that group. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I don't hate that group. You try to make it seem like I do. I'm gonna let you know that I don't, and that I don't agree with the nature of it, and that it could be transformed. Because hold on, let me talk. Hold on, I'm gonna let you talk, Christian. I swear, I'm gonna let you talk.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
I'll hear you out. My thing is that we was meant to be with a man and a woman. Period. That's where it all began. That's where you came out of. That's where you reproduced from. You came from a man and from a woman. That's natural. That's
no.
it.
Spanish is no. I'm responding to one of the comments.
Edub, you do realize outside of us as humans that gay things do happen. One popular one that I see all the time is elephants. They actually I would say constantly engage in gay activity where it's a male on male. Ducks is a very popular one. Ducks engage in activities with other males. They actually form families with other males by stealing the
Cats
females'
too.
babies. Cats too. It is
Cats fuck their
100%.
brothers.
It is 100% a natural thing, and I think saying it's not
not
a
natural.
natural
It's
thing.
not natural. I will never like you can say that it's natural in your opinion, but I will never subscribe to that. That's not natural. Because I
Edub,
believe
let him talk. He let you talk. Let him talk. Gotta let them speak, brother. I
The
understand where you're
the
coming from. Go ahead,
the
Christian.
point is that it happens in nature. It's a thing that happens, and something that constantly happens in nature. We typically form a a belief of, oh, it's happening in nature. This is natural. It's a natural thing that does occur in other societies besides humans.
Here, let me chime in on that real quick. And I don't even think that the natural argument is even the strongest argument. I think it's just whether how much harm does homosexual interactions between people, like, does it cause any harm? And my answer is no, it doesn't cause harm amongst people consenting, you know. I think that's a stronger argument even to like it being natural, because like he could counter argue, even though I don't think he would be able to come up with this, but like he could counter argue and be like, well, rape is natural in the animal kingdom, you know, and killing is natural in the animal kingdom, but we're above natural urges. I think that the baseline of the argument is whether or not it's moral, you know.
Yeah. I think
What
to get
is
back to
hold
the
on?
argument. Sorry, go
What do
ahead.
sin mean? What do sin mean to you,
Immorality.
Christian? What do sin mean to you?
Um, I'll be completely straight up with you. Um, can we stick to like not necessarily religious sort
No,
of
that's what I hold
topics?
to. Sorry, that's what I hold to. That's the only reason, and it'll be the only reason why I understand that things are good, things are bad. We can't negate that things are evil in the world and things happen because of the evil nature. Everybody
Right.
came from sin. Everybody was born into sin. We can't
Okay.
negate that. That's not real. So
For
when
my purpose, I'm going to dumb it down just a tad. I'm gonna say that what you're essentially saying is morals. Like, what do you morally believe is right and wrong, or what do you morally hold as wrong or right?
Why you just
So
can't
Brandon,
answer the
my
question?
because I'm not a religious person. I don't see sinning as a thing. I see morally right and morally wrong.
So
so
what is so? Hold
And
on.
your name
The
Christian, and you
the,
don't
fol-
believe in sins.
the follow
Y'all,
up
y'all
question.
need
So
that.
the follow up. Don't do that. The follow up question to that. So in the definition of the word sin, is it does that definition mean to you? Then just to simplify it.
Um, I guess if I'm gonna go ahead and define it, it's something that people hold themselves to based on the scripture that they study and believe in.
Here, can I ask a question? What do you, because I, as an atheist also, I can describe like what I base my morality off of. I guess I think that the greater question is how someone like us that are atheists base our morality.
it's hard to do. So because you
So
won't
that's
have
your
any
definition. Money.
because
Hold
because
on. I'm
it's
sorry.
oh
Go
go ahead.
ahead. Go ahead. You do it.
Because it gets real scary when we call good evil and evil good because you can't depict on what should be done and shouldn't be done. Now you're saying long as not hurting. That's the thing that y'all say a lot. Long as not hurting anybody, why does it matter?
Okay,
Long
I
as
got a
it's not putting
question.
somebody into a jail, why does it matter?
I got a question. So you believe abortion is wrong. Where does the Bible ever speak of abortion?
Murder. It's that simple, brother. I swear to you.
Listen,
It doesn't talk
Because
listen.
about
We
the,
we
murder,
the,
we
though.
we we could get into that whole argument, or we could stick at like where we were actually
Okay,
at. I think we
so
should stick to where we were actually
oh,
we're
at, rather than
arguing.
listen.
diverting
I
into
don't
I
care
talk
where
something.
the
about
argument go, but I'm gonna stand on the Lord.
abortion, none of that, because at the end of the day, anything could happen where The mother could be sick, have diabetes, anything, and she had to get an abortion because of her sickness. That's not a choice sometimes. I wish people would stop saying stuff like that because it's not murder. Sometimes it's not, they can't control that. They have to because their body generally cannot carry that child.
There's
Okay,
I'm not gonna
that,
and
kill
and then
and
Here,
myself.
let Burn
in
Live,
in
let
in
Burn
that
Live
in that
say something.
situation,
He's
in that
yeah,
quiet.
situation, we get it.
He,
But my thing
no,
is,
okay,
it clearly says in the Bible, whether you believe it in the Bible or not. That is not my, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna beat you up that you don't believe that. I'm not going to.
hold on, Burn Live. You look like you had something to say, man.
we're here speaking our
What were
mind, Burn. The least you could do is speak yours.
He knows because we did have this discussion earlier, and the reason why I can disagree with damn near all of y'all, except for Edub, is the simple fact that if y'all want to call a child in a stomach a child, if y'all able to say that, if y'all able to whisper that with your own lips, then when does that child get rights? That is considered in my book and where I'm from and what I have been through murder.
So let me ask you a question,
So
Burn.
let me ask you
Let's
this.
say, real
How-
quick.
So if the baby came out premature because the mother was already sick, now the baby is having health issues because of the mother's sickness. Now the mother has to suffer through postpartum, dealing with her child in the NICU, and being sick herself. You know how much pressure that is on one person? A lot of people can't deal with that mentally. Why do you think a lot of mothers themselves? Because it's too much.
Okay. And
Y'all don't
and just to fit,
understand that.
we do understand that.
Y'all
And there's
don't.
hold on. Yet again, there's adoptions. There are more women in a percentage that you can look up. There's more people that want to adopt kids than there are kids out here to adopt. I do understand the adoption
no, that's
agency.
not true.
Hold
Yeah,
on, let me
that's not true at
finish.
all.
What? Stop playing. Anyway, I understand the adoption agency and the procedures is hard and it needs to be reconstructed. But yet again, the most point when it comes to abortions is not the fact that people have emergency problems and had to choose. That's not the problem that most people are looking at. Some that's 1% or 3%, whatever the percentage is. What most people look at is the overdoing of the abortion clinics everywhere, and the fact that most people go on the internet bragging about it.
Here, I'll. Me and Christian were just talking about this like a little bit ago. Uh, so do you think? Okay, there's a lot of bad parents out there. A lot of parents that don't want their children. Uh, there's like a problem with of how we're. How do I say it? It
I
would be
know it.
better off for these parents that don't want the children in the first place to raise them into an environment where they're unloved,
Yeah.
you
Let
know?
me let me let
They're
me add on to that real quick. Burn. So I'm gonna say this. A lot of children who are adopted end up later in life horrible, like doing drugs. They end up cutting themselves, killing themselves because they feel unwanted and unloved because their original parents wanted nothing to do with them. There's situations where these kids feel they would be better off dead. Why put them in a situation where in later in life that they're going to feel horrible and also not have genuine parents and a father figure with them as
Because
well?
then you got because then you got people like me who don't know their parents at all. Never met them a day in my life. So y'all should tell me that I should be cutting myself, trying to
No, no,
suicide,
no,
trying to
no.
trying to come.
Nobody
No,
said
no, no.
that.
What
Nobody
I'm
said you should.
listen,
I
listen.
understand. Okay then. So yet again,
We understand that part. But look,
no, y'all
you being
don't.
the person, you
This is
being the
this is
person that you
madness.
are, you're mature enough to understand that you know that you went through that and you know the steps to take to heal yourself from dealing with not having
You think I
parents.
knew that at the age of 8? You think I knew that at the age of 13? You think I knew that at the
Whoever
age of
you were living
21?
with apparently loved you enough to show you, even though your parents are not here, I love you. You get what I mean? You had that love. Not a
Yet
lot
A
of
lot
again,
of
kids who get adopted have that same love.
but
Some
yet
of them get
again,
as
we're
aid. Some
we
of them
we
get.
want to we want to give the options to take away that option to even see if that even possible. Yet again, if we probably looked up the successful rate of a lot of people that's in adoption agency that went through that, you know what I'm saying? I don't think it'll be a very low rate. I don't know it, but if we took the time to look up one time, we would see. I think the opportunity, the choices of a person that you give them is like how E that's what God gave us the choice to do. And I get it, I understand. You get the choice to take away too, you know what I'm saying? Because we have the choice to kill.
Burn.
Yep.
I'm gonna ask you a question. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Uh, okay. I'm gonna ask you a question. Are you? And I don't mean this in any rude way. Are you in any way medicated whatsoever?
What you mean?
Are you
He smokes
taking any?
weed.
He smokes weed. Okay. Um. That was just a off rip question. I was just curious. But
So do I?
regardless,
But hold on, you was gonna ask me, do I take like medicine or anything?
yes. Do
No,
you don't take any antidepressants or anything like that?
no,
Okay.
sir.
There is a high rate of children who are in situations like that who end up on medication. They end up going through a sort of depressive phase where they feel unwanted or unneeded, and they end up in situations like that where they end up cutting and doing stuff like that. I think that for one, there's a lot of kids who are in foster care who have emotional issues and they seem quote unquote less desirable because of that. And I think putting them in that scenario where they have to be adopted should be a complete last resort for one. And the way to negate that is to be able to let abortions be a thing because there's a lot of
That's
And then
scenarios.
my
There's a
thing
lot
yo.
of
is
Hold on.
with
scenarios.
I
it.
want to say to that. I want to say something to that because
Hey, y'all,
that's
let him
so.
finish though. Let him
Mm,
finish. When he
yep. I'm gonna
finished,
finish. Go ahead. Let him finish.
one of y'all can take over, but at least let him finish his statement.
It puts a kid in a sort of scenario where they're getting ranked, where it's like, oh, this kid's real nice, he's very pleasant. Oh, but this kid's real mean and he has issues. I don't want him. It puts them in a very bad scenario that we would deem in any other scenario completely unethical and not okay. Right? Can we all agree that that puts them in a horrible scenario where they're deemed or ranked based on how they act?
Hmm.
I
And then
cannot agree with
I
that.
cannot.
Why?
it's
Why?
very
So can
Why?
I? So,
Hold
Why
aggressive.
on.
And
not?
then there's
I'm
some
so
asking.
now, are
kids.
you done with your statement? Because I want to respond now.
No, no,
Because I
no,
think
no.
you're done.
And then there's
That
some
was
kids who
one.
don't even get adopted, who literally sit in there and wait and wait and wait and wait and
Got
wait
you.
to get adopted. And that stuff breaks your heart.
That
Nobody
goes back
wants
You
to
you
what
to
I
can't.
go
said.
through
The
that.
adoption agency
Edub, you can't
is
call
reason.
virtue, and that's what you've been doing for your whole argument on the whole Christianity and schools thing.
Got you. Cool. But
Okay.
see, you downplaying my argument, and I never did that to you. I listen. I'm
I'm
hearing
not.
you
I'm
out or
not
whatever. But
downplaying
you know
your
what I'm saying.
argument.
But
Did
hold on
you?
now. Now it's my turn to talk. Hold on. Hold on. You can't downplay my issue when I'm on morality. If it's evil or if it's a good, that's what I stand on. Because whether you're trying to go to the whole philosophical of it shouldn't it's going to be a whole chain of what they're going to go through, and so how they're going to be brought up in life, and if they're going to be picked. But you're saying the ultimate result is to murder children. The ultimate result you're saying is that they shouldn't even have a chance of life. Your ultimate decision is saying that they should be putting them and taking them out piece by piece.
What do you consider alive?
Hold on. Just picture this. A live child. You should be taking it piece by piece out of a woman and saying that they don't deserve life because they don't have a say so in any of this matter. And they didn't have you know, saying they didn't have a choice to be in this world. You sat down with that woman and made that choice, and now, or you was in the because we can go to her depiction of maybe they was great, right? If they was great, what can you do? You can set them up for adoption. If you didn't want to go with the pain of, dang, this is what I see every time I look at a child, that I was great.
Sure,
Edub,
but
let me
But you're
calling,
chime in
saying
real
hold
that
on,
quick.
really,
the ultimate thing is to
Edub,
kill, right?
Edub.
That's what you're
Let me
saying.
chime
sure.
in real quick.
Killing is
That's not
okay
what
Edub.
I'm
for you.
saying. Is ultimate
Hold
goal is
on.
killing. I'm saying
Edub.
it's a good second option for certain situations. I'm not
You just said
saying somebody can go,
you just said
hold
there's
on. You
people.
can let me speak. I'll let you speak. Please let me speak. All right. So, like I was saying, I'm not saying it's the ultimate goal of all of it. What I'm saying is it's a good second option for certain situations and scenarios that uh, lead no other options really. Let's go by what you were saying. Sorry, let me gather my thoughts real quick.
Edub.
Eric,
Um,
can I chime in real quick?
Hold on,
hold
Edub.
on. Okay, I didn't get to finish. But
You know, at the beginning of a pregnancy, at the very, very beginning, at like 4 weeks, the what you call it is nothing but a cell. So I don't agree with a woman getting an abortion past 20, like 13 weeks, 7 weeks, because that's when the fetus start developing. No, you should not get an abortion after that. But anytime before that, yes, because technically it's not a baby yet. It's still a cell. So you're not really harming anything.
I'd also like to say this when we're talking about like the baby didn't choose to be ripped out of the womb or anything. Like, can we also say that for like the children that are forced to be raised in these horrible situations? Like, the children don't get to choose to be like where they're born or who they're birthed by, you know? Like, they don't get to choose whether or not they have a loving parent that wanted them in the first place, and that sucks, you know?
And you're saying that we should choose to kill them so they don't have to grow up in that. That's what you're saying?
Yeah. Hmm.
so
That's demonic to even say that. That's crazy that you are choosing death over life.
All right, you
okay,
can
so
moralize
And
that
then
Edub,
you're
however you
saying
want, but
because
this isn't
and
a
then you're
perfect
saying, oh
world.
yeah, they're gonna be a bad mother, they're gonna be a bad parent. But you saying they deserve to be killed so they don't have to go through that. So now it's saying like, okay, now they're going through that.
A lot of these
And they're going,
children
hold
end
on.
up
Now
in
you're saying that they're
horrible
going through something that's
situations.
so
Hold
hold
on,
on, brother.
Edub,
Hold on.
Edub.
Hold on. You're
Cool
saying that
out for a
somebody
minute. Let me
hold
say
on. No,
something.
hold on. You're saying that you're allowing that somebody allowed that person to have that child. Now, because they're going through so much trauma, we should just kill them right there so they don't have to grow up with that trauma.
I know a lot of people that grow up in these horrible situations and they're molested by their stepfather or even biological father. I've met people like this and people that are beaten and they're not loved by their parents and they grow up
Okay,
with
I was
all kinds
molested
of
and I raped
medical.
too, bro.
No, 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 no.
Ooh,
Shut the fuck up real quick. People,
I was too. What is your point?
fine. People don't
We
get
all
to
go through something,
choose.
brother. We all go through something in
Yes,
life
but when we're talking
to
about
to
taking
find to
away a
find
lot,
It's
truth.
not just for the
just
trauma
you're
shut
though,
not a
for a
brother.
hold on,
minute.
Edub. You're not a female. You didn't get fucking a penis shoved inside of you and forced to birth a child.
Edub, just
Whoa.
give a moment,
Whoa.
okay?
We're not gonna downplay his trauma though, because he's a
I'm
god.
Sure,
not
he
downplaying
has
what he said. I'm
trauma.
saying that he didn't experience what a woman goes through being forced to birth a child.
I
He's been
understand that.
molested, but there's a situation
And
where
he
it's a
also been
completely
raped. We
different
don't
scenario. There's a completely different scenario from being raped as a man and raped as a woman. I'm not downplaying what happened to him. I'm saying it's two completely
Sin is
separate
sin.
scenarios.
Sin is sin, bro. Sin is sin. It's all the same, brother. We not taking it away at all.
But that's not my point. Can I say my point, please? A lot of these people that would have been abortion child without the option for abortion, they end up in these horrible situations. Usually people that have abortions are people that are less fortunate and already in horrible situations themselves, and that leads their children to being into horrible situations. And it would be a better option just not having children in these horrible situations when they're a fetus, they don't think, they have no consciousness, they're nothing but even a heartbeat, you know? Like, why are we gonna force these children into this cruel, unforgiving world where they're forced into these horrible situations? Why would we not have an option to where we don't have to do that when they're just a fetus and nothing but a heartbeat?
If you think like that, then I don't think that to say this in the most loving way that I can. I don't know you, but I'm gonna say that I respect you and I have love for you. But if we think like that, then we shouldn't be having children if we don't if we don't have compassion and we don't have love for children that didn't even decide to be here. But now you're trying to take away from life because you want to play God and feel like it, because we have a choice to take away life, we should so because of the quote unquote what they're going to go through.
Okay, Edub, I have a question. Are you for or against the use of condoms?
I'm against it because you lay down.
What?
You lay down and made that decision with that person. It's your choice now to lay down with that woman,
So
right?
you be raw
Now
dog
you
in
want to
here
say
and
that
shit.
now you want to say that now you're trying to uh go against what God created. Now you're saying, "Oh, I'm laying down with you, but I don't want no kid in you. I'm
No,
laying
no,
down
no,
with you,
no, no,
but I don't
no,
want the
no.
responsibility."
Edub.
You
No,
can't force somebody to
Ida,
let you
hold on,
nut
hold
in
on,
you.
hold on. You just took that one question and went super far.
I did. I'm not gonna lie
Yeah,
to you. I did.
yes. That's why in the beginning, when I asked Christian a simple question, I tried to establish when somebody asks a simple question, just a simple answer.
Okay, sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. Y'all keep the party going.
So you're against like somebody aborting a child, but having the ability to prevent something like that happening is completely out of the question in your books?
You're wasting
Do
it.
you think do you think bad people should have children?
Wait, hold on. Wait. Money, before we get into that, hold on. Edub, what were you saying?
It's a waste.
A waste of what?
Egg and sperm. It's a waste. You're wasting it.
So if there's
E-Dub,
a
you're
scenario
toxic. I,
so if there's a scenario where somebody who is planning to get married or is married, not wanting to have kids just yet, and want to have some fun, you know, as relationships go, you know, you're saying that that's completely out of the rule book. They need to either not have sex or have sex.
I didn't say not have sex. I'm saying either you're having sex to multiply or you're don't do it at all. That was the point of to
That's what
interact
I
with
was
each other.
saying. So you think the idea of having sex outside of procreating is absolutely wrong.
And now if you want to get deeper, it's a sin to even do that because you're outside of the will of the Lord to be married. You're supposed to be married by doing that. It's a
No,
to do
I
that
said I made it clear that they are married. They're a newlywed couple,
right.
and
That's
they
what I
just
said. Now
want to.
you're sinning. You're
Are you
sinning because
against are you against or for masturbation? Do you think that's a complete wrong thing?
it's a wrong thing because it's a sinful nature of you're looking at something that's depicting looking at somebody else having sex and now you're lusting and you see something that you want and now you're
There's other ways to
doing things
You
to
don't
masturbate.
have to
yourself.
watch
I can.
porn to masturbate.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, you can literally just close your eyes and start masturbating, and it'll end in the same result.
But now that's a waste. It's a waste. You're wasting.
So would you say pissing is wasting?
You just mute me.
Would you say
So what?
pissing is wasting, E-dubs? Would you say taking a crap is wasting?
Taking a crap, you
This-
said?
Yeah.
Can I ask one?
Is that
Can I ask one
wasting?
question? Can I ask one question?
Yeah, go ahead.
And I
man.
hate to. I hate to feel like I feel like I'm. I don't want to jump either, but I just want to ask one simple question: is there a such thing as safe sex?
Safe?
Pull out.
Yes. Is there?
You better
Is there?
pull out.
Is there a such thing? Is there a
Like
definition?
birth control.
Yes.
No, not all of that. Just period.
No.
Just safe
I can-
sex.
I can give you my definition, but I'll say yes.
Okay. All right.
So do you use Plastigram, don't you?
If I'm going to have sex, I'm not have sex with one person. I don't.
So let's say.
I don't
sorry,
go
man.
out here and sling it everywhere
Oh,
and
I thought
everywhere.
we thought that you meant that you went out here and raw dog every bitch you fuck. That's what we
No,
thought.
that does not what we thought. Don't put thoughts in our heads. I just wanted to. I'm hearing them asking questions, so I was just trying to simplify the question to get a better understanding, so they can keep going.
You trying to understand
So-
if he out here raw dogging.
No, I just want to know. Like he said, because who said something about condoms?
Me, I did.
Christian.
Right.
Real quick,
And he
E-dub,
said, "No, that's wasting."
I want to ask a question, E-dub.
Go ahead.
So let's say there's a scenario, right, where it's a male and female, and unfortunately, right, I'm going to play this scenario up fully, and then you can respond. Let's say, unfortunately, the female sinned in your eyes to when they were in their teenage years, and unfortunately, at this point, they have an STD. Now, let's say the woman has been great throughout all this time. You know, she's been good, a good person to God. She's, prayed this, that, and the other. Would you be against them having sex with a condom so the man doesn't ultimately end up with the STD? Like, let's say they're a couple and they just want to have fun. Would you say that's wrong?
Couple or they're married?
So they're married.
Hold on. Can I say this also? E-Dub is the same guy that got mad at his wife for having miscarriages.
Are you fucking serious?
Did I say that I was mad or that I was like,
Yeah, that's
okay?
exactly what you said. You were mad and causing problems with your wife because she was having miscarriages, and then she
That's
went
not
and
what I
cheated on
said.
you, and you got divorced. Yeah, that's what you said.
No, I didn't say that I was mad. I said I was
You
getting
want me to pull it
frustrated.
up?
I said that I was getting frustrated. That it was
Frustrated, mad. What is the difference? What are we talking about?
Why are
Okay,
you
I'm gonna play on
I'm
E-Dub's side real quick. I'm gonna play on E-Dub's side real quick. If he's frustrated that his wife can't have a baby, he doesn't necessarily have to be frustrated at her. He could be frustrated at the situation at hand. But I don't know the direct quote, but if you said that you were frustrated at your wife because she kept miscarrying, that is absolutely unacceptable and horrible.
and you can consider me as a bad person and you can jump me. Cool. I already came to my agreements with the Lord with that. So if you want to condemn me, cool, brother. That's fine.
So
But
so you're
I
admitting
understand
to saying that then?
that I
Saying
was
you're
frustrated,
frustrated with your wife?
Yes, because that's what I came into
You are
the
a
marriage
it's-
for.
you
oh
deny
my
it?
Because I
God.
wanted a
Deny
You
it.
are
family.
a
So
piece of
whether
shit.
That's
hey,
not.
you can call me that. That's fine. That's fine. I don't really care for real.
E-Dub,
It
that's not
already
her
happened.
fault though. What the fuck?
Did I say it was? No, I said mine. That's how I felt. I don't really care
That's not a
how
good
you
way
felt
to
about it
feel.
or how you feel about it. I got it off
I
because
don't
it
care
was
how
the
you
truth.
feel about it. The way you feel about it
Right,
is wrong.
right. You can say whatever you have to say. Cool. I'll let you talk. Go ahead. Say what you got to say. Get it off. Because you got a lot to say about it.
The way
That's
you feel about it is fucked up, bro. She can't control that, and the fact that you're mad at her over something that she can't
she didn't get
control is
mad
really
over
fucked
her.
up.
He got frustrated at the situation, not
No,
at her.
no,
that's not
Burn.
what
He
said.
just
That's
he
not what
just
said.
said that he got frustrated at her directly. Like
And
verbatim just said that.
I'll
I know.
quote unquote it. He
I know.
said that
Go ahead.
that's not why I got with her in the first place. I wanted the status of being a father, and that's why
Yes.
he was mad.
Ida, you probably caused a lot of. I'm not trying to be funny. You probably caused a lot of trauma on this woman because mentally we already go through enough when we do have miscarriages. It's the worst thing in the world because for one, in our mind, we just created this beautiful bundle of joy. We're thinking we're gonna bring it into the world, and then things like that happen. Mentally, we already messed up because we're thinking about the fact we just lost our child. And we gotta look at our man and see that he's disgusted and upset with me because of me miscarrying my baby. And it's not even my fault. You know how much trauma that causes on a woman mentally and emotionally? You don't do things like that.
Okay, people make mistakes. True indeed. This is something that happened in the past. We're
Burn,
not.
I'm gonna ask you a question just outright.
Hasn't changed.
Is
That's the
is
problem.
that not disgusting to you that he was upset with his wife for miscarrying?
Honestly, you want an honest answer?
I want an honest answer.
I don't care because it ain't got nothing to do with me. To be honest with you, just to be honest, like that's between
And
him and her.
I feel
That
like
could
you're
be
But
trying
you
to
wanna
be
know,
different
but you
nice
want
to
situations.
E-Dub,
If it
though.
was me and you
No,
and I got
anybody.
but
and
you
I
wanna know
got
something? Hold on. Let me talk. I'll let y'all talk. Hold on, let me talk. I'll let y'all talk. I'm man enough to tell my wrongs. I'm man enough to let you know that I'm possibly wrong in that area, and I probably was wrong. And I already apologized for that. I already talked to her about it, and I already told God about that. Whether you want to condemn me or not, that's up to you. That's fine. I don't I don't really care. I made my peace with that. You feel me? And I already talked to my ex-wife about that. And I already told her my intentions was to make a family and be happy with you. And the fact that we can't do it, where do we go from there? And then
What
it came to
I'm
a point. Hold on. Let me talk, brothers. Please don't cut me off. Please don't cut me off. I'll let you speak all the time. Then it came to a point where she felt entitled to cheat on me. Maybe she was entitled, right? Maybe that's what I deserved in your eyes. Ooh, it's fine. But the fact of the matter is that that's the sin that she made, and I felt how I felt, and I was already like, yo, this is what I came into marriage for, and that's why it was good to do that because in the Lord's eyes, that we should do it in this step. You get married, and then you have children and be fruitful and multiply.
I don't
That's what my mindset was, and I wanted to love her in that capacity. And the fact that we
can
couldn't, it was like, okay, am I
can
going
you
to sit
please
here?
oh
Oh,
sorry.
go ahead, talk, cause you keep
Can
cutting
you
me off.
please quote me where in the Bible it says if you can't have children, divorce?
Did I say that's the reason why I divorced?
You said
I
the
could have
reason was
sworn that she.
because you couldn't. No, you said the reason that you divorced was because you couldn't fulfill God's prophecy of having
oh, he
children
divorced
and
her because she
continuing a life.
cheated,
No,
Christian.
no, that's not the reason why I divorced her.
He divorced her because she
Oh, I
cheated.
misunderstood. I misunderstood.
Cheated,
I
bro.
apologize.
Don't
I
put words in my mouth.
apologize.
Please
I'll
do not
take.
do that.
I'll
Do not
listen.
say my words wrong,
I
please.
didn't hear you fully. I apologize. I take the L on that. Please carry on.
That's the only reason why I divorced her because she cheated and she kept doing it or whatever, right? And I was still trying for it, but yes, I was frustrated. But the thing is, it was lack of it or whatever, and the disconnect was there. Cool, but what we're not going to do is try to paint me out into this horrible person. I know my intentions was to be in a a fulfilled marriage with kids and stuff like that. I wanted a family. That was my intentions, and I'm not going to lie to you. I have feelings. I have needs. I have wants as a man. Don't really care how you feel about what my decisions was for real. And I can man up and tell my wrongs and saying what I did right, what I did wrong.
All
Simple as
right.
that.
right.
I real quick. I want to say one last thing. Unfortunately, I have to go pick up my girl from work. It was fun talking to you, Edub. Uh, thank you for having me on, Burn, and maybe we can continue this conversation later on if y'all are still on.
Sure.
Thank you, Christian. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Talk to y'all later.
Yeah, you do.
Later. What was that?
I said,
This
yeah, I know that you appreciate him being on for sure.
I
He's a
do.
good guy, man.
I do after the BS for the first 10 minutes, but you know what I'm saying. Y'all did have a true dialogue. Either I mean, this was a good conversation. It did go left field in the beginning, kind of went left field right here at the end. Man, life, trials and tribulations and everything that we all go through. I understand we go through it. I'm gonna give everybody a chance to give their last little words, and we're gonna wrap this on up.
Are we
Everybody got,
wrapping it up right now?
yeah. I, I gotta go clock in a little early today.
Oh, got you. Okay. Well, I had a fun conversation. I think that we learned some things, you know. It was fun. What about you, Edub?
I still feel the same, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. Um,
This guy hates
you,
me.
no, I don't hate you at all. I love you, brother. But understand the nature of the dialogue of that you have is not really fruitful to me. It doesn't get nowhere. You know what I'm saying? I don't wanna um feel like I'm getting attacked for what I believe in or attacked of how I see things. And it's okay to disagree, you know
Come
what I'm
on, it's
saying?
only
But
because you attack other people.
do I attack or I
I'm
tell the
fine with
truth?
you believing in God and
I'm gonna tell
living
the
your
truth,
life
brother.
with your beliefs and everything, but you attack everyone else.
Never once did I out here bashing everybody and making a whole campaign about it.
Okay.
I tell you what's in the Bible and what's true, what's not true. That's what I stand on. It's okay to not like the Bible, but to be against me and attack me for what I believe in. It's two different things. You're against God. You're not a, you know what I'm saying? You can hate me because you hate God. That's fine. That's where I draw the line at. You know what I'm saying? And it's all right. That's all I'm gonna say. It's all right. And I'm never gonna hate you, but I'm not gonna do a personal thing with you. Because that's where we is, and I'm not gonna keep being attacked secretly with you. So we can get on this panel at any time, and I'll always respect you. I always show love and I respect you. But it's just not a personal thing with me and you, brother. That's it. No hate, no shade, nothing. I love you as a person, but it's just not a personal thing right there. That's all.
Anyone else?
Nope. All right, y'all. This has been another Burn Live show. This has been very interesting. I can do say that so. I never had a debate like this of this kind. I do want more of these type of debates. Maybe not with all the. I don't want people to feel like they being attacked. I don't want that. But understand when you do come to a place of debate, like Money say, you got to be ready with all your ammo, all your weapons, all your answers. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to rebuttal and hit back on topics that may be sensitive to you. And either that's why I said earlier, don't go personal, so personal when you come on a podcast or somewhere. I understand that it's a testimony and you do testimonies around testimony situations. Other than that podcast, don't go so personal because people will use that as the ammo to attack you.
And that's fine. They need it. They need it for them. And they think it is, but whole time God already got the glory out of it. It's fine, brother. And,
Understandable.
and, and the thing with me, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not scared to be vulnerable. I'm not scared to be my authentic self. I'm not here to put a facade for nobody
Understand.
because my truth could set somebody else free. Never know. But I'm not gonna sit here and pay pity pat about something that's sensitive and true. I gotta tell the truth or not tell it at all.
Understandable. Until that, yeah, this has been another Burn Live show. We have, man, yeah, have a good day. God bless. Until next
All right,
time,
God
we got
bless.
peace.